Palm Desert, California, born and raised, and then moved up here 7 years ago.
I grew up in Manila, Philippines, moved here when I was 16, back in 2001. I came from a very religious family. Grew up going to church every Sunday with my mother and my sister when we were younger.
I had a really beautiful life, to be honest with you. I mean, my parents gave me everything I could have asked for. I went to private schools. I was raised with an Episcopalian background, so very aware of God and who He was, but I also was grown up with like a fear of God and with an idea that God was an angry God. And so even though on the outside my life looked really beautiful and I had my parents who were very supportive and really amazing people, I struggled with a lot on the inside that I couldn't quite reconcile. I figured, well, that's it. God hates me. You know, God was already an angry God and I was already kind of a mess to begin with. Like, can't do anything else wrong from here. My destiny is sealed. I'm going to hell. And it took me down a really dark path. I met with people who from the outside looked like they had it all. They looked like they had the perfect life and the job, but there was a dark side to it, and there was a side of a lot of drugs and a lot of partying. But I was so desperate to be accepted and to fill that spot that I got into drugs. It carried me for a lot of years. At the height of things, I was a meth addict. And it's only honestly by the grace of God that I'm not dead or in jail. You know, one night I was in my dad's garage, I was getting high, and I couldn't get a hold of my dealer. And the guy who I was in this phase of life with texted me and he said, hey, you might want to stop trying to get a hold of him. He just got busted and he's going to go away for life. So you might want to just stop. And that to me was my coming to Jesus. That was my, I've got to make a change and I've got to do it now. And because we have a God who is so good and because He had put these people in my path, the first person I called actually was my boss. And I called him and I said, hey, I got to get clean and I've got to stay clean. And I'm kind of a mess right now. And him was like, you're probably going to want to fire me because I've been lying to you for the past year about what's going on in my life. And he's like, no. He said, I'm not going to fire you. He's like, tomorrow we're going to go to a meeting and you're going to get clean and I'm going to help you stay clean. And I said, okay. And he took me to my first meeting. This was my shot. Like, this was God saying, okay, like, I've given you everybody you need. I just need you to listen to me and just come to me. I've never looked back. I've never picked up another drug. In fact, I quit smoking cigarettes. I quit everything. I got clean. And I am so grateful that I did that because 3 months after getting clean, I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And my life just changed again. Everything that I thought was going to be my future, it wasn't my future.
I was married before. I went through a divorce, and I was a single dad, trying to raise a little girl by myself then, you know, it was really tough. When we first met and started dating, she did tell me that she has MS. But in my heart, you know, it was the right thing to be with her, you know. Even after our marriage, her health continued to deteriorate after we had our son Liam. And
I just remember, you know, she's caring for her son. She wasn't able to walk. Getting steroid shots just to be mobile, you know, and you can just tell the love that she has for her child, you know, in spite of her inability physically. There's just that voice, you know, that's always have said that everything's gonna be okay. It took years, you know. And then when she finally got her treatment and, you know, she started improving, getting her life back, I just, you know, reflected and I'm like, you know, you've always been right. In times of hardships, because, you know, the answer is there. God always comes through.
And so to be in this place, I'm like, God is so good. Like EJ said, I mean, we look back on our life and I'm just like, God, you have been there every step of the way. I'm a testament to that. Like, I was a mess. I was a drug addict. And disabled. I mean, the fact that God has blessed me even with this opportunity for us to sit here together and to share our story, like, and it's amazing the people that have come into our life because they've seen our life change and they want to know what we're doing. And it's like, I'm just so grateful that God can use me, and that's all I want. I just want to be a vessel for God to use in any way. And like, I'm done with saying no to God. I'm done with saying I'm not good enough because He made us.
Yeah. Once you get in there and you walk with God, and He carries that cross that you can't carry, you know.
Mm.
It's amazing.
Yeah.